So let's talk trauma bonding. A trauma bond is basically an unhealthy loyalty bond seen in abusive relationships. This bond is created by the imbalance of power and control in toxic relationships, resulting in dysfunctional loyalty despite the presence of danger, shame, or exploitation. In these relationships, the abuse, self-sabotage, obsession, distrust, and other negative consequences of the bond increase over time. This is basically a circular relationship in which one person needs the other person, who in turn needs to be needed. In these type of toxically abusive relationships, there's a cycle of punishment and reward, where one person minimizes the punishment and excuses the behavior in hope of the reward, which comes less often and with less intensity over time. The victim or giver feels worthless unless they are needed by, make sacrifices for, and generally protect and cover for the abuser or the taker. Trauma bonding is basically an unrecognized addiction, where the relationship and bond become priority number one, even though that bond is unhealthy and often dangerous. It is mostly about survival, and yet survivors feel guilt and feelings of betraying their abuser, even though the abuser betrays, abuses, and continues to try to destroy them. This is a result of the psychological abuse and brainwashing that breaks the self-esteem, self-worth, and belief systems of survivors created by the toxic reality in which they live. These type of relationships are also described as Stockholm Syndrome, where survivors develop positive feelings or empathy toward their abuser over time, which is why we often hear, "but I love them." Essentially, they sacrifice themselves for their abuser. The romanticized idea of all for love, you and me against the world, is taken to the toxic extreme. Signs of trauma-bonded relationships are looking past red flags for the dream of the love bombing experience, having a sense of avoiding conflict with the other person, walking on eggshells, leaving you feeling drained and unable to openly communicate, feeling the need to check in with the other person and or ask permission to do daily tasks, or having to hide and be secretive, often being the one who apologizes, even if you've done nothing wrong, defending your partner's bad behaviors, feeling sorry for the other person even when they hurt you, persistent loyalty in the face of danger, feelings of fear, threats, emotional pain, and distress, doing anything for the other person even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, putting the other person on a pedestal despite the fact that they don't merit this position, a need for other people to like you in order to feel good about yourself, struggling to find any time for yourself, especially if your free time consistently goes to the other person, feeling as if you've lost a sense of yourself within the relationship. Walking away from toxicity demonstrates incredible strength to choose you. Be gentle and kind with yourself as you recover from trauma bonding. You never have to walk alone.